Hey guys, Jamy Catalyst here with another review for the Triple S League. This is the DARQ review. DARQ is an indie horror puzzle game developed and published by Unfold Games. This indie piece garnered some attention in late July when its sole developer turned down Epic exclusivity. He said, "I never intended to become the face of the Epic Store exclusivity controversy." He explained that he had made a promise to those that had been following his game since November of last year that the game would be on Steam, and he wanted to honor that promise. Another statement he made, "I wish there wasn't a double standard and indie developers were given an equal opportunity to sell their games across multiple storefronts so that players could enjoy what they seem to want the most, a choice," which is something I, and I imagine many others, personally agree with. DARQ tells the story of Lloyd, a boy who becomes aware of the fact that he is dreaming. The dream quickly turns into a nightmare, and all attempts to wake up end in failure. Lloyd learns how to survive the nightmare by bending the laws of physics and manipulating the fluid fabric of the dream world. So says its Steam page. The controls of this game are really the only thing I have an issue with. I played the game using keyboard controls. However, I did find out later it was made with a controller in mind, which, if you have the ability to use one, I would recommend it. Keyboard controls don't use the usual WASD, or WASD, but instead use the arrow keys. The other controls being Enter to interact, Shift to run, and Spacebar to climb the walls. The placement and use of those keys together make the controls a bit clunky. Something else to keep in mind is the moment the game starts, you're in it. No menu, no opening cutscene. The application launches and it's time to start moving. There isn't even a tutorial to tell you what keys or controls to use. You just have to figure it out along the way, which I'm usually all for that. And since there's not a lot to learn, it's all pretty simple. But with that in mind, I just wish the keys had been the usual WASD controls. Within the world that is Lloyd's never-ending puzzle nightmare, there are some rules. You can only go left and right, almost as if the world is two-dimensional. And you have to be caressing the wall with your soft, supple mime hands before you can defy gravity and put your dirty boots all over it. When you go to rip Newton a new one, the world reacts accordingly. Stuff gets knocked over, things shatter, puzzles move, and etc. And let me tell you, watching the world go bonkers because I decided the law of gravity didn't exist in this mime kid's dreams was very satisfying. Another thing to keep in mind while traversing this mad mindscape is that there are things out and about that want to kill you, which I got 8 words for you. Flintlock wielding, crazy lamp-headed swimsuit wearing mannequin ladies. Oh, that's 10 words. Yes, such terrifying creatures exist in this kid's messed up dreams, and since you can't control the camera and whether or not they're in your sight, you have to use audio cues. There is no music in the background of this game because of this. You must listen closely to know when the enemy is near, or even if they're able to see you in that moment. I think this was a brilliant mechanic and a great way to ramp up the fear and the tension. To build on this, I gotta admit, the sound design for this game is awesome. The groans from the creatures, the creaking in floorboards, metal meeting metal, every little noise is perfect. You don't even notice that there's no background music, only noise, because it is so well done it keeps you feeling on edge. The creepy areas that are amazingly detailed and designed beautifully, as well as the mostly black and white with a touch of color here and there landscapes, work together to make the atmosphere for this game sublime. DARQ is like if Unraveled and Limbo had a mime baby. It's structured in a very similar way to them, with the atmosphere of Limbo but the puzzle system of Unraveled, as well as no manual save, only chapter checkpoint save like what both of these have. In DARQ, each chapter has a big puzzle you need to solve, but you have to solve several smaller puzzles to get what you need and/or to get to the end. Each chapter brings a new element or edge to the puzzles, as well as different types of smaller puzzles. Some are harder than others, but that's up to what kind of puzzles the individual person is good at. Not all puzzles are gravity-centric either. Some whole chapters won't even use gravity, but instead will manipulate and use the 2D element. Even trying to evade the enemies is a puzzle in of itself. Trying to decide whether to hide, run, walk, or wait, and so forth. Since not all chapters have enemies, you might run across them, die, and have to make a tactical decision some distance away by relying only on those lovely audio cues. None of the puzzles are overly difficult to solve, but they are incredibly interesting and visually creative, and because of this, you can go through the game rather smoothly. In short, this bite-sized 2 to 3 hour visually stunning indie title with such perfect atmosphere for its dark genre and story has some amazingly fun and creative gameplay and puzzles. I'm not a fan of the controls, but this title should not be overlooked. Whether you want to buy for the full price of $20 or wait for sale, anyone that likes puzzle games or dark atmosphere should give this game a try. And I, personally, look forward to more from Unfold Games.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, sub, and hit that notification bell, and then check out some of these other videos. Find the link to our Discord server and other important stuff in the description below.